Brand on Tour with Anzhelika Tauber and Katrin Hansel. The podcast where personal branding meets sports.
Everybody knows Gary Vee. There's no point in copying what Gary Vee does. At the end of the day, if you want to achieve something out of the ordinary, you have to risk your ordinary. Get comfortable with the idea of failing in that sense. Nobody knows. The worst thing on social media, if something doesn't work, nobody's going to see it. I could watch my videos all day long because I know the key messages I take out of my videos will motivate me.
My mom, wonderful person, but she's scared of everything and she tries to keep me safe. Don't quit your job. Do this on the side.
When you're starting, everybody is going to tell you it's bull what you're doing, it's not going to work. And when you hit the point where you become successful, everybody is going to remind you how lucky you got. Okay, I'm like really delusional about the fact that I'm really good at what I'm doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Brand on Tour, the podcast about business, personal branding, and lots of sports in between. Today we are back at 3x3 Vienna, and our guest today is not an athlete by profession, but he's one of Austria's most successful creators with over 550,000 followers across all social media accounts. Luca started his social media journey without any plan. It literally snowballed. And that comedy account, the one he never intended to be a business, became the engine for 5 completely different ventures and revenue streams. He's now one of the fastest growing creators in Austria, having gained 50,000 followers in just the last 3 months by posting 1 video a day. Today, we are walking through what it takes to grow in social media in 2026 when it seems that nothing is working, how to find your own signature formats, how the algorithm actually works, and what role mindsets plays in staying consistent and showing up every single day, and what systems can help you achieve all of this. LUCA VAN DER GOES, welcome to Brand on Tour.
Welcome.
Hey.
Thank you so
Lovely
much.
having
it was
you.
The most insane intro I've ever heard for introducing myself. But
anytime.
Thank you so much for having me.
I think let's dive right in, and I want to know about how this journey happened. So from starting a comedy account with a friend without a plan, and then growing into something that people recognize you on the street and ask you to take pictures with them.
We have to explain this for the cameras. It was a big coincidence because we were on the phone to each other, and then a group of school kids came and started screaming and stuff. And I was like, I have to hold on, sorry. I have to take like 20 pictures and then we can continue the phone call. I don't know. On the way here, I tried to think about this answer because I thought it might come up like right at the beginning. And the thing with the no plan is correct, absolutely. But there was one factor which, I don't know, lit the fire in me, for example, I would say. And it was my old boss. Because we started like filming 1 or 2 videos in the place we worked at, my friend and I. And our old boss once called me to his office and said, you have to stop that. And I was like, what do I have to stop? And he was like, yeah, this little funny hobby of yours, like filming videos and stuff, you have to focus on work, do like 60 hours a week. And I was extremely underpaid at that time.
What were you doing?
It was like a marketing agency. I don't want to name the agency because I don't want them to get free press,
Yeah. But they are usually very popular for underpaying their young employees.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Agencies are crazy. But
that's why I don't want to call myself an agency. I say studio. I run one myself. But it's also not
okay, like
the
marketing
one.
agencies in that field are crazy.
Absolutely.
It had to do with sports marketing. And I was like right out of university. I started there when I was 18 years old, I think. And then I was there until I was, 25. So right about that time, I was there for 6-7 years and always like at, how do you say it? An intern. I started as an intern. Then I went up to like 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week. And then I was like on a contract of 35 hours a week. with like, I don't know, you talk about numbers, like payments and stuff.
Yeah.
I was working 35 hours a week, and I was earning, after tax, I was earning 1,000 euros and 300 or something.
Wow.
So
Crazy.
it was like, in my opinion, I think it's crazily
slavery.
underpaid.
It's literally slavery.
Yeah. And then she went to me and said, okay, if you focus on your work, like 60 hours a week for 1 year, we can talk about a pay rise. And it was at that moment that I walked out of his office, thought about it for like 2 minutes, then turned around and walked back into his office and said, thank you very much, I'm leaving.
Yes, go Luca!
And this started the journey of like Wien Order, so the comedy account. Yeah.
And how long did it take you to start earning with this?
We started in early 2023, and we went like full-time creator in 2025.
So not so long ago, actually.
Yeah, we started 3 years ago, and we went like full-time 1 year ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a crazy journey because it wasn't really in my mind that stuff can snowball like that. I think our third video ever is also a funny story. If I'm talking too much, you have to.
No, please. This is very interesting because also, I create content, or
Yeah.
at least I have a dog Instagram account. So my journey in marketing started with posting on my dog's Instagram, and then because it was working, I went to my boss and said, "Thank you, I also quit."
But that's an amazing
Things in
niche.
common.
Yeah, that's an amazing niche dog Instagram.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were like, okay, we started podcast for it. I'm not gonna tell you the whole thing, but we started the podcast because we thought we can give budget from our clients in the sports marketing agency to ourselves, to our podcast. So that's what like our mastermind idea, which obviously didn't work because just because you start a podcast doesn't mean anybody's going to listen to it.
Yep. That's always the hardest part to
Yeah, of course. And
get a podcast running, right?
Yeah,
I
really
mean-
thankful for everyone who is listening, if somebody is listening right
No,
now.
Of
there's
course,
plenty of people.
of course.
Yeah.
We started on a MacBook with the MacBook mic. So
Oh,
this setup is quite different. But yeah, we wanted to promote that podcast, and then we started to post these funny comedy videos. And the third one went viral, as they say, and it got like after 20 minutes it had like 20,000 views or something, and I was like, I never experienced something like that before, and I was like calling people like, what the, I'm famous, I don't know what to say. Whoa, don't be surprised if anybody going to recognize me on the street now. And so I thought at 20,000 views I'm famous. And then it like escalated. The video got like, I don't know, 200, 300, 500,000 views or something. And then it just never stopped. Every video after that got like crazy views, and we didn't know how to comprehend it. So after like a month, we had 30K on Insta, I think, and something on TikTok. I don't know. I don't care about TikTok. I'm sorry. And yeah, just never looked back.
and basically you're just making fun of Austrians and Germans, like.
Yeah, it started that way. On We Are Wiener is a account. It started that way because my friend is German and I'm Austrian. But now I think it's more I'm making fun of him and the Austrian guy is making fun of the German guy. I don't think the German guy has ever had any fun on the channel. So, but yeah, I don't know. We like to play around with stereotypes.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of your journey, and then it snowballed to
Yeah.
a few other ventures. So you're well known as a moderator and commentator.
I wouldn't say that. Not with you sitting next to me on the couch. I wouldn't say that.
But okay, well, how does
did
it
it
look like?
start?
Yeah.
How did it start? Yeah, I don't know. It's not been a long journey, like moderating and commentating, but it started through networking, I guess, because you if you're a content creator in Austria, it's a very small market, so everybody kind of knows each other, and then if there are people in the comedy branch where I am, then you really know each other because there are like the top creators are like, I don't know, there's like 5 or 6 of them. So you're obviously going to run into each other and then talk with, I don't know, other brands. Every brand knows like the guys around you. So I think it started with networking, and then just a dumb idea, I think, because I really like to talk. I mean, English is not my preferred language, but I really like to talk. So that's something I had always going for me. And it's very easy, in my opinion, to stand out from other content creators, in Austria at least, because you just have to be on time. Today I wasn't on time, but normally you just have to be on time. You just have to be a nice person. And then you gain an advantage over 90% of people doing like social
because
media.
others are not nice or on time.
I don't know.
They're not approachable, probably, right? Not
Sorry?
approachable, they are.
Yeah, and there are some stereotypes which I find to be true regarding like influencers. You know,
Like what? Let's bring out the dirt. I think that's interesting. No? I don't know. What are the stereotypes? Okay, my stereotype would be,
What
for
would
example,
be your stereotypes?
when I see somebody with a lot of followers, I automatically assume, but that's a prejudice. That's a prejudice that we are trained to have, that person must be maybe arrogant with a bloated ego. And that's why when we were on the phone and you got recognized on the street, and I was
You
like,
thought, what a jerk.
no, I actually asked you, like, do you feel like a celebrity? And you're like, no, I don't feel like anything. Like,
Yeah.
you were so humble. And I was like, this is
Thank
actually
you.
so nice. Like you didn't let it get into your head. So is it different for others?
That's the stereotype I was talking about. Because
Okay.
if I wasn't like that, I would get in a lot of trouble with my wife and my mother. So they're always trying to keep me like
Grounded.
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But I don't know. The whole thing with the taking pictures, I had to get used to like crazy, because I still remember the first guy who asked me for a photo. It was on a Christmas market in 2023, I think, and he was like, "Sorry, can I take a picture?" And I was like, "Should I take a picture of you guys?" And he was like, "No, I want to take a picture with you." And I was with my family, and everybody was like, "Why do you want to take a picture with him?" And then he explained like, "Oh, my girlfriend and I were watching the videos, and then I just made the connection. So whoa, somebody wants to take a picture." And I took a picture with him as well. I still have it on my phone. I wanted the picture with him, and since then, you know, it like got really, really hard to now impossible to walk around and not get recognized for I don't know, the videos or whatever. But I still can't get my head around the fact that people want a photo with me. Because who am I? You know? So, but I don't know. I don't want to sit here and you know, preach like I'm the most humble, non-arrogant person and I'm the nicest one. There are a lot of nice people in social media in Austria, but there are also like, how do you say it? What's the famous phrase? There are a few bad apples, you know? But there's always going to be people who are like,
In every niche and every
not
industry.
good. And also not like famous people who are also just not nice people. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Absolutely. So you literally grew your brand being recognized for the Wien-Euler, but you now started your very personal account as well. I
Yes.
think it's Luca on the cam, right?
Yes, look on cam, yeah.
And you post every single day. How
I
do you
post
stay
every single day.
consistent?
Yeah, I set myself a challenge on New Year's Eve last year to just, I don't know, grind, you know. And I thought to myself, how hard can it be to post a video every single day? Because we're doing it on Wien-Euler. So how hard can it be to just focus on posting one video every day? And there's since then there's like a movement which somebody in Germany created to like overflow social media with like 40, 50 videos a day. But I'm not after that approach, because I think there's a lot of I don't know, there's a lot of quality going away if you post like 40 videos a day. So so back to your question, sorry. I set myself a challenge to post every single day. Today is day 164, I think, because I posted today. but I stepped it up a bit because it was kind of too easy for me. So I was really enjoying making these videos. And then I was like, okay, but if I only post one a day, I'm not gonna have so much fun. So I stepped it up to like 3-4 videos a day.
Are we talking about
Sometimes.
stories or reels?
No, reels.
Wow,
Reels,
that's
yeah.
insane. I mean,
I hardly do stories.
why?
I hardly do
Yeah,
stories.
Luke also hardly does captions. So this is
Oh, yeah,
another
yeah.
surprising thing. Like, how does it work?
Yes, true.
Everyone is like
There's-
stressing out about video aesthetics, captions. Luca just puts day 100 out of
Yes,
365.
that's the only caption I do. It's like for example, today it's like day 100 and I always have to do the math in my head. 64 164 out of 365, and every video that comes after that today I will just post with no caption.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
what I saw.
And I was also the one who started like preaching about ignoring hashtags 2 years ago, because nobody's looking up a hashtag, you know.
and also about aesthetics, because so many of your videos are literally dark.
Yes,
Raw,
there's a filter on them.
scary. Like you're yelling at people.
I started. I don't know why, but I had on the first few videos I had a darkness filter on it, with set to 69 out of 100, like intensity, and then I don't know. I kept it. I don't know why, because I'm sitting in my dark car and sometimes I turn on the light and
I
scream.
saw that, yeah.
But I have one of my best friends. I have 2 best friends, which I love dearly. And one of them, he always comments on my videos like 7 out of 10 light transition today or something like that, you know? He always comments on my light transitions. But I don't know, I don't know. It's like a habit I've created, like my own visual hook. You
Exactly,
know, turning
it
on the
works
light.
like a visual hook that people
Yeah.
recognize. That's what I
Yeah.
noticed. Like there is a audio hook where you say Havara, always the same song.
Yeah,
on the
it's
background.
Yeah, true. I started using the song like 120 videos ago, I think, or something. And since then there was only one comment where somebody said like, "Why are you using the same stupid song on every video?" I was like, "Because I like the song, and I will use the same stupid song on every other video as well."
And now it's part of your brand. It's all about identification, right?
I would love to meet the creator of the song one time.
Who is
Because
it?
I don't know, but I pushed it so crazy into the algorithm. I started using the song and it had like, I don't know, 1,500 usages. Is that a word?
Yes.
Uses, and now it's up to like 33,000 on Instagram. I don't know if I'm responsible. I wouldn't say, but it's just a good song.
But so you have this very, very recognizable format. I think it's a personal brand, like this head in the car, turning on the light and yelling, spitting saliva into the camera.
Yeah, that's not planned most of the time. That just happens.
It's a signature format,
It's
I
a
would say.
signature
Like,
format,
what
yeah.
would you suggest to people out there who want to become a content creator? How do you find your signature format?
And do you need it to grow?
If I needed to grow
Like,
like
that's the general-
personally
Do
or the
others-
channel?
Yeah, generally.
Oh, signature formats.
Yeah.
So talking about my signature format, I was looking up like motivational speeches when I was 16, 17, because, you know, school is hard and then you go through, I don't know, changes in your personality and all that stuff. The first like heavy hitters of life are coming into your life and stuff like that. So I was listening to a lot of like speeches and like really long talks. And then some years ago, I found like a guy just screaming out like messages like I do, but in English in America. And it always stuck with me. I don't know why. So when I was like thinking about what is dear to me, what do I value as content, which also, I mean, it's kind of a stupid sentence, but I'm the guy who always goes around and says, never get high on your own supply. So I don't, I'm always that guy. So when I did sports marketing, it was like involved with like sports betting and stuff. I never bet once in my life. And today also, I don't like watch Reels or TikTok. I installed TikTok like 3 weeks ago on my phone. and I'm a content creator since like 3 years ago, because I always talk to my friend, you are posting TikTok. I don't want to have anything to do with that. I started posting my videos on TikTok 3 weeks ago. I have like 27,000 followers on there now. So I have to keep the effing app on my phone now.
Of course, they expect, yeah.
I hate that app. Because, seriously. But so that's one really big part of finding a signature format, in my opinion, is you really have to enjoy it yourself. I could watch my videos all day long because I know that the key messages I take out of my videos will motivate me. So I always, that's also a thing I've never talked about, I always directly address the person watching it, right? In my head, I address myself because I wanted to create something for me to watch before I go to the gym or before I have like a tough interview or something. So yeah, I address myself in the videos, but people, yeah, I don't know, think I address them, which is also fine for me.
But it's a smart approach. Like, I've never heard that you would address yourself in a video to just rewatch it, and others, it has a huge
maybe
impact
the
on others
views
as well.
come from myself. Maybe I'm
you
responsible
rewatch so
for the
much.
views.
Watching it all day and night.
So yeah, that's my most important factor for finding a signature format. I would say is you have to really be behind the idea and don't do it because somebody else will like it. You have to like it.
It's really a great point because, for example, I struggle a lot with finding format for myself. So, for example, on my dog Instagram account, I know what to post, I know what the people expect to see, and it works quite easily. 2 years ago, I switched to trying to grow my own account, and I tried so many different formats. I love comedy. I have a very cheeky sense of humor. And I tried different clips, and it was nice, but I couldn't stay consistent with this. First of all, it was not working really well, and so it kind of discourages you to continue. And then I tried more like talking head videos where you sit and explain your favorite topic, which like I talk about branding and positioning. I love that. And I love creating this like very dreamy atmosphere, but they are also not really working. So I feel like, and what you say that you would watch your videos yourself, I feel like I would stop my videos after like 15 seconds because they're boring. And it's so hard to find what would work for you. So how would somebody who wants to find a signature format because they want to grow, like I don't have problem with consistency, I can also post a ton. How would I start? How would I approach finding a signature format for myself? And what would you recommend to somebody in the branding and positioning niche?
You know, I'm kind of an odd guy when it comes to like doing that kind of stuff because I don't like labels in that way. I don't like somebody saying to me like, I'm gonna start talking head videos or I'm gonna start yapping videos or whatever because
you started yelling videos.
Yes, because but how would you name that niche I'm in? I don't think there's a name for it.
Motivational niche,
yeah,
man.
But who is doing that in like German-speaking countries?
Exactly.
You know?
But actually, there are a lot of creators who post motivational content, quotes and everything, but nobody in your format. I think that's probably...
Who spits on their fans, literally.
Exactly. And it looks so dangerous.
Yes.
So I think that's why it helped you grow and stand out. Like, this is my hypothesis.
Yeah, what I really enjoyed always, because I started business economics, I think is the right term in English. And it took me 6 years to get my bachelor's degree, but I did it, you know. But what really stuck with me in the whole marketing aspect is I forgot the name. It's the analysis which you do, which you focus on
your strengths and weaknesses.
SWOT analysis.
SWOT analysis.
I think you can figure why it took me 6 years.
Strengths, weaknesses.
So, yes, I really love that that analysis because you take some for your example. Yeah, you say, okay, I'm in the branding niche. I want to educate people on how to build a personal brand, for example. You take everybody who is doing that really good. You take everybody who's doing that really bad. You watch everything. That's also one thing that a lot of people don't do, in my opinion, which is actively consume social media. You know, everybody's like scrolling and scrolling and doom scrolling, but nobody's like seriously gathering information from the videos they're seeing, in my opinion, especially people who want to start social media. So what I really like to do with people who come to me and say, okay, how do I start? You take an hour and you invest it into people you like watching. You invest it into people you don't like watching. Then if you want to write down, you write stuff down. What they did good, what they did bad, what you think they could have done better, what you think that there's potential they could do, which they're not doing. And then you just take little pieces out of everything and create your own niche. That's what I would do, or create your own signature format, because there's no, if you talk about branding, personal branding or branding for businesses, everybody knows Gary Vee, I think. There's no point in copying what Gary Vee does. No point. I'm sorry, but he started in like 1989, 98 or something with Wine Library, and then transitioned into what he's doing today. So he had a head start of like 25 years.
Yeah.
So there's no point in doing what he does. But if you can figure out what he's not doing, what could have potentially benefit his videos, and you're doing that, then it's fair game, in my opinion. So you just have to stand out, I think, with your signature format. I don't know if anybody can take away something from that, but that's the way I'm thinking, you know.
No, for sure, the fact, like the intentional research, I do it the same way. So like, and now I understand what you mean. Like, don't get high on your own supply.
Yeah.
I also don't scroll. I don't doom scroll. And sometimes people ask me, okay, but how do you advise your clients what to post? And I have designated time in my calendar when I do research. So it's like really research. But I still think that it's kind of, maybe that's my limiting belief. It has been hard for me to find the format that works for me, where I feel like I stand by it 100% and like I can rewatch it nonstop. And that resonates with the people. And yeah.
No, sorry, I was going to tell you a secret.
Yes.
Because before finding like the screaming format I do now, I tried out like 11 different styles of videos and stuff I wanted to do. And I wouldn't say hard truth, but it's kind of like an easy truth for me, or something that gets me to get comfortable with the idea of failing in that sense. Nobody knows. Because the worst thing on social media, if something doesn't work, nobody's going to see it. So nobody knows. I tried out like 11 different things, where also a lot of them I was doing just because I thought, okay, that's going to work. And then I watched the video and I was like, whoa, that guy doesn't want to be here. So...
And have you deleted those
Nope.
videos, or
they're
still
still
online?
up because they're part of the challenge.
Yeah.
You know, it's like video
okay,
11
right,
of
right.
365 or something.
Yeah.
So don't go back and
We need to
scroll.
scroll back.
No. Don't do scroll on my account.
we had to binge watch it for today's episode. But also going back to consistency, so you managed to post now 3 times a day, and some people struggle with it, like Catherine.
Me.
Yeah.
I have so much discipline, I would say, when it comes to many areas in life, but being consistent on social media, and probably there's many people out there who struggle with consistency on social media, but in many other areas of life as well. What's your secret sauce to stay consistent? Doesn't matter with 1 video a day, which is huge and chapeau.
Yeah, of
but
course.
3 or 4 videos a day sounds to me overwhelming.
I think regarding consistency on social media is you have to be like somewhat like stupid, you know? It's like about I'm delusional. Do you say delusionally? Is that a word?
Yeah, it's delusional.
I'm like
Delusional.
really delusional about the fact that I know I'm really good at what I'm doing, and I don't care who I don't know, whoever says anything about that. I don't care. I don't care what people comment on my videos. I mean, there's 99% of them are really nice, but the 1% I don't care about. So I think that's a big part. And speaking of you have so many different ventures going on, and I'm like 100% invested into social media. You know, I was like, when I got out of the office from my old boss, I was like, okay, that's what I'm doing, because he doesn't believe in me. Probably nobody believes that I can do that. I believe that I have already done it in my head. So I believe I can do it. I'm going to show everybody. But most importantly, I'm going to show myself. And that's what I've been doing like for the last 3 years. So that's, I can say, okay, I'm going to 100% into social media. You can't say that. You just told me you started moderating in 2010.
That's been quite a while ago.
That's
Yeah,
before social media,
true.
you know?
Yeah. Ooh, are we that old?
So no, that's not what I'm saying. But it's not your main thing, social media, you know?
And you know, the thing is, like, are you planning your content ahead? Because what I struggle with is like, I'm planning it a little bit ahead, and at some point, it's just like there's no content left, and then it's stressing me out and puts so much pressure on my shoulders.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
So we had the problem with Vinoiler quite a bit, because if there's two people involved, you can't. I mean, you can, but it's also not healthy, I think, to meet every day and film every day and do stuff every day. So we have fixed content days, and then we have a clear structure in who does what. So my colleague, he comes, for example, he comes in with some ideas, and then we have, like, let's say we have 4 ideas for a day. While filming, there's going to be a lot of time where you think about the ideas and think about, okay, how do I want to create that content and that piece of content? So there might be new ideas sparking into your head while filming. So when we plan to film like 4 videos for the week, we might have end up with like 8 or 9 or 10 sometimes, because it's also, comedy is very easy to film, I think. So it's a very easy niche to fill with content, because we can do the same video format over and over and over again, just with like small adjustments with like Austrian and German comedy. So that's one way we try to attack that problem. But like for my own content, I don't know. I just sometimes think about what's agitating me, or what's like going on my nerves that week or something, and I just speak whatever floats my boat, I guess. Yeah. Sometimes I also see stuff and I was like, okay, that's inspiring. How do I adapt that into my style? How do I adapt that into what I want to be saying? But you know, it's I don't know, it's hard. It is hard. For me, it's also hard. And we're with Vinoiler, for example, we're having a completely different strategy with test reels. So I'm creating test reels for Vinoiler, which are normally never meant to see the light of day on the normal account. But it's a completely different strategy than the Austrian and German comedy. It's Austrian voiceovers. So like I take viral videos, I erase the audio and then fit my own audio onto it, for example.
I haven't seen that. On what account is that?
On Vinoiler.
Via Vinoiler is there.
They're test reels, but
okay.
sometimes once in a blue moon, there's a video like popping off really good, and then we carry it into the main feed. There was like a video a few days ago where I voice over a German car going on the tracks of a train, and somebody out of a train filming the car.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
That's a test reel,
Oh,
or it
that's
was a test reel.
Okay.
So you know, in Vinoiler we have like a test reel strategy, we have a content strategy, which is our like go-to content, which is Austrian German, and then we have strategies for finding new niches and new strategies, and that's nobody believes me, and I think that people who are not in social media won't believe it, but it's like a full-time job.
For
And
sure.
If you have a full-time job, it's crazy to go on another full-time job, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why I always understand when people say, hey, I can't post every day.
It's more than just a side hustle.
Yes, of course. And it's also mentally draining. It's extremely mentally draining.
Yeah.
Because somebody who doesn't have social media, exercise for like listeners at home, just film 10 videos of yourself, split it up into 10 days, film 10 videos of yourself talking about, I don't know, whatever you feel like. it's so hard.
And it's not just about filming, it's also the post-production,
Yes, of course. It's
releasing it,
editing.
taking
You have
care of everything.
also the way
scripting
you
before.
speak.
Yeah.
If you saw like the first videos on We Are Vinora, it's crazy that these videos got views. Because I speak like, I don't know, like a little child who doesn't want to talk into a microphone, you know?
That's how I feel when I speak next to Catherine, honestly.
Yes, like we were like, yes, I know.
Well, but it's so good to see that development within
course,
such a
yeah.
short time frame.
Can you give us more technical details on the
Yeah.
strategy for the listeners? So, for example, if they don't know how to start with content planning, what to look for, could you guide us? Because you said you have 3 strategies.
Yeah.
I've never even thought about it that you can have different ones.
Yeah, we have like a lot of content pillars, I would say. The strategy is always the same. On top of the list of strategy, it's we wrote, nobody will be able to get by us. You know? Not like that we become the biggest, greatest creators of all time. And I followed that strategy for my own personal account as well. It's just, you have to create content which polarizes a lot, but also gives, I don't know the English word for it, you know, but it's in German, it's Mehrwert.
Value.
Oh, value, yeah, it gives value, because I think in social media there's such a unique time right now. If you create enough value for somebody who gives you like the trust of their time, because that's what people do.
Yeah.
They pay you with their time to
Yeah.
consume your content. And if you can make it worth their while, for example, right now in an area where so many people are using AI to create crazy bad content, in my opinion. If you're able to create value for the people who pay with their time, then I think they're going to recognize it with, you know, a follow, a like, a comment, whatever. So that's for me, that's the first point of the strategy, is like create so much value that people have to stay, you know, that people are stuck because they can't move forward, because there's so much value there, which they don't get on other social media accounts.
Are you using AI for content creation?
No.
Yeah, so
No.
you also agree that AI produced content is shit.
Yes, I can tell you the next secret, because one of my ventures, as you said, it's a very nice word, is social media consulting and doing workshops for like brands and companies who want to understand social media, because I'm like a little heuchlerisch. What is that word?
Wow.
Double moral. Like I have double standards in morals, you know, with social media, because I'm working really close with my management agency, the Guardians of Social Media. So we are working really close together, and they're a social media agency. But I'm also teaching companies to understand social media and create everything in-house and skip the agency part, you know? But we also managed to cross over, and I do workshops for their clients and stuff. Because for me, it's like a very big thing that people and companies understand social media. Because we don't need everybody doing the same trend, because one cafe in Australia got lucky with their video creation, or got very creative with their idea, and then everybody's stealing that idea. And the people don't even understand what like 30K likes means. Yeah. So that's also one thing. I really forgot your question, because I went into like the workshop brain. I forgot what I was talking about, or why I was talking about that.
Oh, we actually started off with, are you using AI?
Oh,
and
yeah,
she was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
so would you say
So,
that
yeah,
AI
no.
content is crap?
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to tell you. I'm trying out, because I have a third account, which is completely focused on like understanding social media as a personal brand or as a company. And there I will be starting out using AI a little bit, but not like I would say 20% of the video. I want to do videos where I explain stuff, and behind me something happens, like the roof collapses or something. So I'm using Higgs field for that. But I'm not a really big planner. So I think I'm using Claude like every day, but not for social media, just for normal business tasks. You know, ChatGPT picture creation and stuff is also really good. And I don't know. I think that using AI for small tasks or for like as an assistant is really good at the moment, and it helps a lot. It takes a lot of like time away, which is better spent elsewhere. But creating stuff with AI, which then goes out to like a B2B customer, B2C customer, is dangerous in my opinion, because everything looks the same. Nobody that I know used like the Bindestrich, you know?
I don't know
Passion.
hyphens.
The dashes
Yeah.
in emails like
Yeah.
1 or 2 years ago. Now everybody's using them like crazy, and the whole email is structured the same way with everybody, and so that's also like a thing where I think that people can stand out from a lot of people right now. As I said before, on
Yeah.
social media also, by actively choosing to not use AI.
Yeah, I totally stand by it. I actually see that you can damage your brand if you use AI, because when people recognize that it's AI, so for example, this is my experience, and I don't assume that it is the same for everyone, but probably it is. When I see something is written by AI from a creator I follow on LinkedIn specifically, I will not give them another chance to spend my time reading their content next time,
Yeah.
because I will know, and it's like also a stigma. I don't know how much ideas of their own they put into that content piece, but the stigma is that they were lazy and used the AI and probably did not do any thinking themselves. So this is my prejudice. And then next time I will scroll by because I already labeled them AI content, not worth my time or reading.
Absolutely. The one thing is like you establish this personal brand online with AI, and then you meet this person in real life. You're like, that doesn't fit together.
Yeah.
But what I personally was wondering, like you have this 5 different businesses and different accounts in very different directions, but in the end, it's you as a personal brand. How does this fit together and balance? Oh, what do people know you most about?
Yeah, obviously for the Wienorder videos, obviously for the comedy videos, because they polarize a lot, as I said, because of the stereotypes we use. Because right now, talking to me, you probably wouldn't think that I'm the same person as I am in Wienorder, because I don't see myself in Wienorder. I don't see myself as like an influencer, because I'm playing a role. You know, it's like an actor who's playing a role. It's like an online comedy show, I would say, because I'm very, in Austria we say Diof, so I'm very, you know, very,
Yeah, it's like a Borgen.
yeah.
But those sounds
So
like-
there's a famous fictional character in Austria with he was called Edmund Mundel, so Mundel. It was a very Austrian character,
Very Viennese character.
Viennese character. He had like the language. He talked about stuff which you cannot talk about today, or in the way he talked about it. So he was also sometimes out of line, and yeah, it's great. So that's like the kind of inspiration for that character. But for that, everybody like knows me. My account is getting up there. Some people are coming to me like, "Oh my God, I know you from LUCA Cam. You scream in my face all day long, blah blah." But I think building a personal brand in this economy, in this time, is amazing, because when I go to companies and do workshops, or when we are at a new client of the agency and I'm helping them with consultancy. Thank you. In German, a lot of people know me, and in my experience, it's a good thing, because there's immediate trust being built, because you know they know, okay, he actively does that, he knows what he's talking about, he also is also kind of successful in this field of thing, blah blah blah. I don't know my English. But yeah, I think building a personal brand is an immense advantage in
So you would
this
say
time.
a personal brand can have different faces,
Of course,
and still
because
people will
Yeah,
love
of
you
course.
and see you as authentic.
Of course, because I think what I also struggled with is people want you on social media to open up and show your real self, your true self. And I couldn't and can't really do that on Vino either, because obviously I know how to speak Viennese, but I don't do it in my everyday life all the time, and I'm not like screaming all the time something bad about German people. I'm also not screaming all the time, you know? I'm also not screaming all the time.
Aren't you? I thought
But
you
with Luca on cam, it gave me a platform, unwillingly or unintentionally, where I can really connect to people, because the message I am giving is the same message I'm thinking. So it's like my mantra that I'm giving them, but in a form of screaming. But I really believe what I say, and I really also live like I tell people, like, you know, you can go to the gym with being sore, because I'm also doing that. There might be people who are not doing that, which is also perfectly fine. But it's just being in control of yourself and not letting like feelings or you're hurting or something control you. You have to control the feelings. You have to control the hurt, which is, I don't know, inside of you, outside of you, I don't know. So that gave me an opportunity to connect with a lot of people, and I'm getting messages where sometimes I'm so close to crying, because also good and bad, you know. So sad messages, but a lot of the times I'm getting so many beautiful messages. And that's also one thing that I think creators should do more. Answer your messages. You know?
personally.
Yes.
Not just
There are so many people who don't answer messages, and I don't know why, because take 20, 30 minutes out of your day. If you're a content creator, you have them 30 minutes in your day. Take them and just answer, because it's so crazily community building, and it's also just nice, you know? It's also for you, it's nice, and for the other person as well.
Yeah, and it's this human factor
Yes,
in this
of course.
digital world.
I saw the same with my dog's Instagram account. People were sending, because we post a lot of tips on how to raise a dog, tricks and so on. And people send me their problems and asking me how could they solve it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a dog trainer, but I just shared my experience, and they valued it so much that I took time. And we have one of like, although I don't post anymore, but we had such a strong community. And people would, every time I would post something about the problem that we're experiencing, like, oh, Rivo was a jackass today, and I was crying in the training. And I would get like 50 comments, people supporting, saying, you're doing such a great job, you're giving your dog such a great life.
But that could have been a very good content pillar for you. You know? Hey, I'm not a professional dog trainer, but that's how I do things. Because for me, it's also, I'm not a professional motivational speaker, but that's how I think about things. And then if you translate that into, and this is where the money comes, if you translate that into brand deals, with Vino Ida, for example, we do a lot of big name brand deals like A1 or Visa, for example. And that's very easy. You get then an AI brand like briefing with like 9 pages or whatever. But that's like very easy to do, because they have a clear vision what you have to do, blah blah. But with Luca on Cam, I'm starting to get brand deals now where I tell the people, hey, that's my community. They value my opinion a lot, because with Vino it's like a sketch, but on Luca on Cam they value my opinion a lot. If I don't like it, I'm going to say it. And I did something with a new restaurant that opened up, for example, and I said, you know, why am I doing like a brand deal for a restaurant? Because it's a very saturated niche where the restaurant is in, and on my account we respect that. If somebody says, okay, I'm just so sure that this is going to work in that niche where everybody says it's not going to work, that I'm going to try it. And that's what I recognize. And I also told the people, like, for me, it tastes good. I can eat here. It's not like my favorite restaurant, but I think it's good food. if you want to come and try out yourself, you should find out. I'm not going to say that's the best food in Vienna. It's the best burger. It's the best blah blah. I think every day there's like a new best burger joint in Vienna. So, but they have to try it out for themselves, and that's what I also talk to with brand deals. That transparency is key on like my account.
And honesty,
and
as
honesty,
I can
yeah,
include
because transparency and honesty. Everybody says, "Oh, I'm so honest with you guys. I'm so transparent," but that's something that social media is lacking a lot. I think there are also great examples who do that. Yeah, but I don't want to sound all bad on social media or about social media. There's a lot of amazing people on there.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think there's a lot of room for improvement for honesty and transparency, of course.
Yeah. I really want to dive into the mindset topic, but before I do that, I just want to summarize for the listeners a very important aspect of personal branding that you mentioned. Yesterday, we had Nico and Fabio, and they were saying we don't need personal brands. And you're saying this is the best thing that one can do. And what I hear from what you say is that you start every business deal, negotiation, project on a different level. So not from zero where you have to justify yourself, where you have to explain yourself, build trust, build credibility. You already come into the room and people value you for what you have achieved. They trust your expertise and your knowledge. You can negotiate better prices. You don't have to defend yourself in any way, and actually it probably makes more fun doing the whole job because you know that people value you for what you have done and they look forward to working with you.
And I would completely say that is true, but it's also about being somewhat in control, because when there's everything in the open and you have the reassurances from social media, for example, if we're talking personal brand, that it works, what you're doing, you just can walk into the room and say, you probably have seen what I'm doing, and if you like it, perfect, let's work together. If not, okay. You don't have to like be, hey, please hire me, please let me work for you. I don't like you, but let me work for you and stuff. So, but it's also a very privileged situation, because obviously there's not a way that everybody can build a successful personal brand. Also, what is successful? Because there are people who have like 20K like followers who are crushing it. And there's also like people with 1 million followers who don't even have one brand deal like in 6 months. So it's a fine line. But I think also for Nico and Fabio, they're professional athletes, They're very decorated professional athletes. I know both of them. They're both amazing people. But imagine what they could do being professional athletes with like 2 or 3 times the attention that they could have because of having a personal brand. But it's also when they say, hey, I don't want to have a personal brand, it doesn't make sense to say, no, you have to have a personal brand because you have to want to have a personal brand.
Exactly.
It doesn't work anywhere else, or anyhow else, I don't know.
So, and this is exactly how it worked for you. So when you quit your job, you said, this is my goal and this is my dream. And at the same time, when we were on the phone, you said, I didn't have a plan, it just happened. But actually, today, it sounded like you did have a plan. You already succeeded in your head, so you manifested it.
It wasn't a plan. It wasn't a plan. It was like, I couldn't do anything else about it. Because in my head, it was like, I don't want to work in that agency for 40 years and be unhappy. I mean, it's a stereotype that everybody works and is unhappy and stuff. I think there are a lot of people who are very happy with their job. And I was very lucky to really find what I wanted to do with 25, I think. So it wasn't a plan. It was just like delusional self-confidence in my head that I wanted to do that, but I didn't know how to. But I didn't want to know how to, because I know I was going to do it. And my approach changed like 50 times over the last 3 years. I was like, okay, if I go in that direction, that's amazing. And then it had to change because it didn't work out or
So it
something
sounds like
that.
trial and error.
Yeah, of course, it's
Yeah.
always learning by doing for me. It's always learning by doing for me.
So can you tell us how important it is being delusionally confident in achieving something, even if you don't have a plan yet how you're gonna do it? And what is the role of manifestation? Because you also work with teams now, right? The professional sports teams.
Yeah.
You talk about mindset, manifestation, visualization. Tell us how it works, because it definitely worked for you. And I'm sure our listeners would want to know how they could apply it in their life. And I'm one of those people, like I manifest like crazy, vision boards and everything. So tell us how it worked for you, how you think about it.
You know, delusional self-confidence is a very nice term, and it sounds amazing. It polarizes. People are getting fired up when they hear something like that. But it's also very dangerous, in my opinion, because self-confidence is amazing to have. But if you're confident about like doing stupid things, it's also not good. And there's also a lot of fake like self-confidence. I think you have to find something that you really enjoy doing, and then everything else comes. You know, the self-confident, it comes if you really enjoy doing what you wanted to do or what you want to do, then you don't have to be delusionally self-confident, because I think it goes with it, because then there's nothing else you want to do. If you really enjoy that, you want to do that, so you're doing it anyway. And manifestation is something I really enjoy doing, also with people that I work with, because it's also easy. Everybody always says, my grandmother also said, you are what you eat. But you also become what you think about. You become what you talk about. If I would stand up every morning and say, you're not going to make it. Or perfect example. There are a lot of people who are saying, I'm feeling kind of sick. I think I'm getting sick. And then you hear 5 days in a row, I'm getting sick. Surprise, they got sick after the 6th day. So just for people who want to try it, I don't know the right or wrong approach to it, but just take a few minutes every day. That's what I'm doing. And just actively talk to yourself, also, which looks crazy in public, but just talk to yourself openly and loud, and think about what you want to achieve, and talk about you're good enough, you're doing great, you know. Just no pressure. You're going the right way. It's all going to work out. Stuff like that transforms your life, in my opinion. Just talking to yourself, because nobody's going to say it to you, because they're struggling with their own things in their head. They don't have time to talk to you about, hey, you're doing a really great job. That comes when you're really doing such a great job that people can't go around you. That people, they can't miss you, you know? If Gary Vee, for example, coming back to him, there's nobody in like the entrepreneurial space that doesn't know him.
Yeah.
But I think 10, 15 years ago, there weren't a lot of people saying, hey, you're going to be great. But now everybody knows him. And if you consume something in entrepreneurial space, you have to consume videos of him, because it's just no way around it. And then there's the moment where people say, you're great. It's also, there's a really old guy on social media who has a great speech. He says, it's a very short one. He says, when you're starting, everybody is going to tell you it's bull beep what you're doing. It's not going to work. And when you hit the point where you become successful, everybody is going to remind you how lucky you got.
Oh,
you know?
And in between, they're often giggling around your back or behind your back. So that's
It's
the
always
point
like
where you
that.
gotta push through, right?
It's always like that. You live better when you understand that people trying to talk you out of things is basically just they are scared to do that themselves, and they want to talk you out of it because they are scared of it. Like if I can do it, she can do it, you know? And that could be the case with your own mother, father, brother, I don't know, best friend. And I think once you understand that they are not trying to harm you, they're trying to protect themselves from your success, crazily speaking, it doesn't affect you anymore.
Yeah, basically they justify the risks that they're not willing to take to achieve those goals.
That's how I could have phrased it. That sounds a lot better, yeah.
But I can relate to this as well because my mom, wonderful person, but she's scared of everything and she tries to keep me safe. Like, don't leave that relationship,
Yeah.
like stay safe, right? Or don't quit your job. Like, do this on the side and you will have a safe salary and you can still focus on that. But the thing is that, like, if you have a plan B, you're never fully in on plan A, so you will never make it work. And so it's like this, they care about you, those people, they wish you well,
Yeah.
but at the same time they also keep you small and safe, and that's never gonna work out. You will never go all in, you will never think outside of the box for ways how to make it happen when you're like where to get the next client from. You will not care so much if you have a salary coming in every month.
Yeah, I think there's also a lot of people who need that plan B, you know. It can't be all people who just quit everything, go all in and play everything on one card. But ultimately, it's all about being able or being willing to take some sort of a risk. It's always down to risk taking. And I think it always will be down to risk taking. And there are people who take bigger risks and there are people who don't take bigger risks. But at the end of the day, if you want to achieve something out of the ordinary, you have to risk your ordinary, you know?
Exactly. And where I also relate a lot in your videos, you talk about like, okay, if you're having a bad day, you're still gonna go to the gym, or or like one of your videos, you were saying, you're tired, you want to chill, take a day off, but the person you admire is working today and getting one step closer to the goal.
The person who is trying to catch up to you.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And this like taking massive action that others are not willing to take.
Yeah.
And what I always say to myself, that extraordinary life does not come from ordinary action, and you have to do massive action to get to the goals.
Yeah, one of my favorite videos of myself is I talk about you are scared to do something that hasn't been done before, but just be the first one to do it, you know? Because there are only two options. The first option is it has been done before and you can do it better, or it hasn't been done before and you can be the first person to do it. So it's just about that limiting factor in your mind that you have to like fight all the time. But you know, for me personally, I'm a guy who enjoys being up at 5 a.m. knowing everybody else is asleep. I need that for myself. I need like the thought of I'm going to the gym when the guy who talks about me in a bad way is sleeping. I need that. But there are also a lot of people who are not that extreme, you know? But they have to find their own ways. If it's like 2 minutes a day of trying to talk good to yourself, or 20 minutes a day of investing into learning something that they always want to learn, or I don't know, learning a new language or because that's also for some people, that is a risk, you know? Being 8 hours a day in an office, but then using 20 minutes of doing something for himself, that could be a risk. For some people, you talked about your mother. I'm going to bring my mother into this. I was meant to be going skydiving with Red Bull yesterday, but it got canceled because of bad weather. But my greatest fear in life is heights.
Oh.
Always has been. I can't go on a ladder, you know? I can go on a like 3 feet ladder or something because I'm scared to fall and I'm scared of heights. But that's something which I decided for myself, that this is how I'm going to conquer my fear. And my mother, bless her, I love her, she said, but you might have a panic attack and it gets worse, you know? I was like, yes, but that's the risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
And that's some risk that's big for me, but might not be big for somebody else who says, wow, I always wanted to go skydiving.
Yeah.
But this person maybe has to risk like leaving work 20 minutes early to, I don't know, do something for themselves. So
Stepping out of the comfort zone.
Stepping out of the comfort zone. You never know what's the comfort zone for the person you're talking to.
This is really amazing. I think my next stepping out of the comfort zone would be skydiving because I also am terrified of that. And what I want to have an extraordinary life. I want to achieve a lot, but I struggle immensely waking up early. And I know what you say. I'm in the same club of you need to start earlier than everyone else and do more than everyone else.
But I also go to bed earlier than everyone else, which is also kind of hindering the thinking, you know? Because if you get up early, you have to go to bed early as well.
Okay. Yeah, well, there are some people who sleep only 4 or 5 hours, right?
Yes.
No, you're right. Yeah,
So
but
would need more sleep.
Works for some people. Other people need 9 hours, you know?
yeah, me.
But sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, you didn't interrupt. I was just saying that it's whatever, like you said, for everyone has to find their own way. And I'm still trying to find mine. Catherine is still trying to find hers. I'm sure you're still figuring out a lot of things as well.
Every day.
Yeah, it's really encouraging for everyone to see what's possible if you really believe, if you make it non-negotiable and like you go all in, but also that they don't need to beat themselves up for things that they can't achieve right away. Because I know one day I will be waking up earlier and I will be going running like every second day at least. Like this is what I'm struggling with, staying consistent with those things. But it's all right, and I'm getting closer every step to that.
Yeah, what's one of the biggest factors for me, which is still really hard to accept, is you have to fail. Everybody talks about it, but you listen to like some speech, somebody saying, yeah, you have to fail. And you think about like, okay, you're like a crazy successful person, blah, 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 failing. But you have to fail because that's the only way you learn from it. If you say you want to go out running and the first day you just, I don't know, say, okay, I want to do a 5K. And after 2K, you're dead. You just don't want to do it anymore and go home. That is classified as a fail. But you ran 2 kilometers, you know?
You hit the roads, at least.
You would have run none. You ran 2 kilometers.
Yeah.
And that's how I try. I'm still struggling with it, but that's how I try to think about things. Because on social media, for example, there's a month where followers are not coming in as you're used to it. And then immediately your brain goes to, okay, what am I doing wrong? But you're not doing anything wrong. It's just an up and down road. It's just not like going onwards and forwards for forever. So you just have to stay calm and just tell yourself, hey, I'm doing it in my own tempo, you know? And that's failing forward, in my opinion. And I have to do it every day. I have to try to accept it every day. Because after this interview, I will go and say, I wish my English was better. Or I wish I talked about this differently. Or are people thinking I'm like a hoax for, I don't know, saying that or repeating some crazy person who already talked about this or whatever. So there's always some like things that could be tweaked. But then, on the other hand, shouldn't be tweaked. Because this is going to help me, sorry for you guys, but this is going to help me for my next podcast to be better, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Failing forward.
Yeah.
I
Failing
really
forward,
love
that's
that
what I
one.
heard as well.
Yeah. Luca,
Yes.
thanks a lot for sharing your expertise, your experiences, and your secret sauce towards personal branding and visibility on social media. That was fantastic. And your English is great. Thanks a lot for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
very
having me.
much. It was inspiring for me. I took a lot
Absolutely.
for myself. Really failing forward. I think I'm gonna think about it and write a post about it on LinkedIn. I will tag you definitely.
Please do.
And
Please
thank
do.
you for being with us on the Brand on Tour podcast. See you next time. Bye.